Polymer's no-code data exposure prevention for SaaS. We will be showing how Polymer integrates with JupiterOne to monitor, contextualize, and remediate risk of data loss for your company. Polymer is a no-code data exposure prevention software, a new breed of DLP. It is highly accurate in detecting sensitive data using NLP with the ability to auto-remediate risks and events that could be causing data leakage. A turnkey set of privacy policies or customizable data governance policies can be set up easily on the platform with no code. The current state of DLP is weak and incomplete. The old school methods of detecting, quarantining, and alerting DLP operators have been marred with noisy solutions that are very manual and not situationally aware. In addition, they are not optimized for SaaS. Polymer is making the DLP operator redundant with high fidelity detection and entity level permissioning. Its data governance policy framework detects and potentially reverses data movement or changes to data sharing across supported SaaS platforms. To further eliminate risk, Polymer uses behavioral techniques to reduce repeat offenses by employees through training nudges. By nudging or alerting at the time of violation, employees are trained in proper governance, further minimizing risk. Security works best when the culture and members of the organization understand their responsibilities and proper policies. Marrying JupiterOne's unparalleled capabilities of data asset management with Polymer's sensitive data maps and situationally aware risk determinations provide visibility and data flow understanding like never before. By monitoring all events and applying NLP and ML to data traffic on third-party SaaS, Polymer builds an up-to-date inventory of all documents, entities, and other data. Situationally aware AI uses this inventory and granular user access controls to monitor the changes in this data and how the changes affect user access to the material. Violations of policy are flagged or remediated based on the organization's goals. This rich insight layered with JupiterOne's solution allow complete visibility. For the demo, we will share some HR-related information in the general channel. According to the HIPAA policy, sensitive data should not be exposed to all users with access to the general channel. The data element and the audience do not match, causing a violation according to the situationally aware AI. The machine is taking action by redacting information and making it available only to authorized people. Next, we will look at the data types included in the HIPAA policy. NLP, regular expressions, and rules are used to codify the policy. Users are split into groups or given unique access to certain types of data. Think of it like an IAM that sits at your data asset level. With the rules all set and a new violation added to the rest, let's take a look at the data over the last few months. We will use the JupiterOne interface and asset view to query Polymer data. With a simple search, we get user-level data for Slack. Users with high risk scores are marked with a red dot. They have a number of recent violations. Risk score takes number, nature, and timing of violations into account. With a click, we can see these violations and activities. Switching views, we can see user relationships. Samir Dar is connected to Slack, Polymer, and Google Drive. Drilling down in Polymer's data, we can see his violations, activities, and risk score. This information could be used to prompt additional training or to show the improving results created by the built-in Polymer nudges. Again, you notice the red dots for risky users. Here you can see the Slack channel details after a simple search. Revising the search, we drill down by data type and look at only Social Security and address shares. You can also see the channels and relationships in the graph view. Another simple search for exposed data types in the general channel. You can really look at this Slack data from any angle here. Moving on to Google Drive. We see how the Google Drive is arranged and what it contains. Files and folders. We do not see clearly what is sensitive, who can access, and what is shared. This is where Polymer and JupiterOne come in. Here we can see the individual file details and a red dot for ones that contain sensitive data. This flag can be set at different levels of sensitive data depending on your goals. Graphically, we can see who has access to what and where it is. Then we can drill deeper to see what violations or non-normal usage patterns have occurred. Anomalous activity is a clear indicator of insider threat. Intentional, accidental, or everywhere in between. Polymer won't judge that. We see the folders, marketing, finance, HR, etc. We see the files, like contains PII, it's a demo account. We can drill down into each and every file, and then we can also see which user is interacting with what data asset across the board. Drilling down to user level activity is especially relevant for insider threat. If we were to investigate the type of assets the user is touching, we can create triggers in terms of user's activity, which is different than the norm over the last 30 days or whatever period. For example, we can see in a very granular fashion which channels this person is interacting with and what violations are most common in these channels. Basically, we can see what data the user is seeing and what they're doing with it. Then Polymer can auto-remediate or trigger an alert in JupiterOne. Polymer remediates through redaction or can revoke sharing privileges. For the last example, we will drill down on an individual again. You can see her relationships with files, folders, etc. And you can see the JupiterOne rule alert associated with her as well. At the end of the day, all the data is there. It is syncing up with JupiterOne's asset level environment for your SaaS. The visuals are supported by the actual ability to act. You have the ability to remediate and remove links or redact information. In fact, the solution can act for you without the need for human intervention, saving time and money. Auto-remediation also reduces exposure time to minimize risk by acting immediately. In addition, you have a complete audit trail and can inspect information, creating a much richer view, both from a user score level, but also from a platform risk level. You are able to transpose different dimensions to be able to get a better visualization of your data and exposure risk. The data map can be fed into any of your data governance audit requirements for your company. Employees are trained through nudges. Exposure is prevented, and there are deep analytical and reporting capabilities. Most importantly and conveniently, all of this can be boiled down into a risk score, by platform or by user, making it easy to see where further action can be taken to further minimize risk. Polymer is here to help you on your journey and will support you with risk mitigation best practices every step of the way, aided by JupiterOne data and analytics. Thank you.